right. Well, that's enough of the box office. Something that succeeded at the box office, John Wick 4. And apparently that was going to be the last one. You know, we're not going to spoil it here, even though it's been out for a while. You should go see it. And if you did get spoiled by the show, you have no reason to complain to us because it's been out long enough. But I'm still not going to spoil it for you guys. Anyway, that movie felt like... Okay, Nan might skip 5 minutes ahead. But that movie felt like it was going to be the end. I didn't feel it personally, but, you know, from the comments of the director and the studio and how it ended, it seemed like that might be the end of the franchise and whatnot. But the fourth one did very well at the box office. I think got over like $450 million. Great for the franchise. The entire franchise itself is $1 billion franchise now. And, you know, it seems like, you know, Lionsgate's moving forward. John Wick 5 is in development. What are your thoughts on this?
But hard not to give away spoilers, to be honest, in my opinion.
All right, well, disclaimer, skip 5 minutes ahead. We're going to talk about it now. Go.
Okay. Well, if you haven't skipped 5 minutes ahead, then it's your fucking fault.
Yep.
At the end of John Wick 4, he dies. You were warned if you're still listening. You were warned. I even paused. But yeah, he dies. You know, there was a whole funeral ceremony and whatnot, and it just seemed like a fitting end for that character. You know, after going through so much, and he's finally reunited with his wife in heaven, probably.
And dog.
And dog, yes. Except he did leave behind his Staffy, his second dog.
Oh right.
But, oh well, she'll be fun. Or he. But yeah, it just seemed like a perfect fitting end for it. So I don't really know where they're trying to go with this one. Only way I can see it is maybe if it's like a prequel to John Wick 1, as in like when we get John Wick in his like prime, where he's like making a name for himself as this like, oh shit, you hear his name and you fucking quiver.
Yeah,
you know? What is it? Baba Yaga? Booby Yaga? The boogeyman?
Baba Yaga or something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Which is actually a pretty cool concept, seeing John Wick in his earlier days, like, like trying to, like, where we see him make his name like this, such a intimidating and fearful name where, like, you just hear the word Wick and all the villains are just like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, they're out, yeah.
But if it was a sequel or a continue on from John Wick 4, I think it would just feel somewhat cheap. You know, like, you know, just like, oh, you know, no character can ever die, really. At least with James Bond, like, you know, they're going to cast a new actor and it's going to be different to what Craig's stuff is. So it's somewhat different. It's more of a reboot. Yeah. But if they're just going to continue on, it's just like, oh, this guy cannot die. I mean, he fell down multiple stairs, you know, still didn't die.
Landed on that car from like Fast Toy stuff.
Yeah, you know, gets shot and stabbed and whatever, falls off a fucking building and just can't die. But I think the best way to do this is probably to continue on with the spin-off Ballerina, Ana de Armas is one. Yeah. Tell a different story from different perspective, or go to a prequel where we see John Wick climbing through the ranks of the Continental.
Interesting. If it was a prequel, would you have Keanu Reeves in the role? Or would you recast? Say it's like his starting days.
I think you have to recast. I mean,
Adam Driver. Put Adam Driver in there.
Because they actually do look so similar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard to imagine John Wick without Keanu Reeves, you know.
Yeah.
But like, it makes sense to recast if it is a prequel, but you just can't have John Wick without Keanu Reeves unless you do some de-aging or makeup or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
I would like to... Actually, I wouldn't. I was going to say, I'd like to try them see, like, you know, de-age Keanu Reeves and make him younger. But then I'm like, if we're getting that throughout a whole movie, it's just going to be off-putting if it's not done right.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck, they're in a rock and a hard place, eh?
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. The thing that I have a problem with, and again, spoilers, skip another 5 minutes ahead because it's my turn to talk now. The problem is that the people at John Wick's funeral were there when he died. So I could buy into the concept of he died alone and then they saw his grave and they came to the funeral or whatnot, because he could have just lied or faked it pretty easily. But they saw him die on the stairs and and they obviously would like see him be put in the ground. I don't know how he could come back. Yeah, as for the prequel, I would love to see that. I think that's a great idea. But if it's called John Wick, Pardon?
welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Credit movie games. Thanks.
John Wick 5. If it's a sequel though, yeah, I don't know how it can work. My main issue is that at the end of the fourth one, I was very I was like, oh my, he's dead. Like, oh, they're not going to carry it on. I'm like, oh, I was so confused because it didn't feel very like climactic at all.
It just happened literally. You see him on the stairs and you see him on the stairs in one scene, and then it cuts to black, and then boom, you see the tombstone.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it reminded me a lot of The Dark Knight Rises, where he's got like 3 of the most important people, and it's just like a very small, secluded funeral, and it's kind of like in a secluded place, not at a graveyard or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was very similar to that in the way that it was like shot and felt and stuff like that. Not felt, sorry, I'll take that back. I felt, Batman, Bruce Wayne dying, even though you really didn't, but I felt that moment.
Yeah.
Because you got Alfred crying and stuff like that, and there's just the music's there. This one was just kind of,
it's just like boom,
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, he's dead. So I don't really know how a sequel can like move forward, unless they do something crazy with it. I don't know how he fakes it out, and back to your point about how if he does come back, it kind of puts into the perspective of this character can survive anything. I feel like we're already at that point. I mean, like you said, like he jumped out the building and stuff like that.
But at least in this fourth one, you could tell that they were like taking the mickey out of that. Have him fall down all these stairs and stuff and keep getting up. Like you can laugh at that because you're just like, oh, okay, like they're actually like taking the piss because there was not quite a criticism, but like a talking point off the third one. So they obviously doubled down on that. But to actually kill him off and have the tombstone and everything, it's just like, nope, sorry.
That the line stops there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like the idea when they take the mickey out of it and like he just survives ridiculous stuff, but it's realistic as well in a sense.
Yeah.
But if you're going to show him dying in a funeral and stuff like that, then kind of commit to that. Yeah. But I think it's going to be interesting if they do go forward. But I'm not going to complain at all because it's more John Wick. It's more action and it's the good stuff that we want from action cinema. As we're talking about Mission Impossible before. I think it's whatever direction they go story wise, the action's going to deliver. Yeah.
Cinematography as well.
Always cinematography.